apart from her gift of gab, is her fearlessness and freedom of being. So here she is, grateful to have a chance to interview her tonight. Please welcome her on the show, Miss Universe Philippines from Bohol, Pauline Amelincx. Hi, Pauline.
Hello, Adam. Hi, everyone watching. Thank you so much for having me tonight on your brand new show. I'm so happy and so proud of you that you went into this direction. So I'm looking forward to our chat.
Thank you. Thank you so much. I really appreciate it. And thank you for taking the time and effort in really
Of
doing
course.
this. Really means appreciate to me considering that I have just gone on my own since the
Oh,
other
you're
day.
you're still you're still Adam. Like it's a pleasure for me to be here, and I'm thankful that you sent an invitation.
Yeah, just in the nick of time. Alam kong crunch time talaga for 3 more weeks to go. So yes, thank you
I
so much.
know.
Oh, so how are you feeling right now with only 3 more weeks to go?
Now that you say it, only 3 more weeks to go. I actually realized that the past few days it's been dawning on me that it's just 3 more weeks to go, and that means just 3 more weeks of dieting, 3 more weeks of
Uh-uh.
getting everything into place. But you know what? My team Empanada, my team Bohol, team Pauline, they've been all so amazing to such a point that I don't feel stressed. Of course, there are some added aspects like, oh my God, what's gonna happen? This is the first time that we're gonna have a pageant like this, the first ever Miss Universe Philippines. Anything could go wrong, but then again, so many things could go right. And because of my team, because of their support and all their efforts, I feel like I'm getting there. That I'm getting ready, and that I don't have much to worry about because they have just been so amazing. And I want to
That's
shout
what
out to them pala. Shout out to them. Shout out to Team Empanada, Team Bohol, Team Pauline, Team Aces and Queens. Thank you guys so much for all of your help. I really appreciate it, and I hope I do you proud.
they've never left your side ever
No, they
since
never have.
delay yung pageant. Alam mo yon, 6 months,
Yes.
'di ba? The pageant got delayed because due to the pandemic.
Yes.
But how do you feel na they're still there, boosting your confidence in the run up of the finals very very
I'm
soon.
really really grateful actually. Very grateful for their presence, very grateful for their mentorship as well. And I think that this time that the pandemic has been going on, so the 6 months extension, it has allowed me to spend more time with my parents, more time with my team, and we've got to know each other on a more personal level as well. And I don't think that would have happened if the pageant would have gone through on May 3rd. So this time that has been given to us is actually very precious, and I'm happy for everything that we've gone through and for everything that we'll be doing together in the future.
All right. Wait, before we continue, can we give a shout out to our to
Oh,
three people who are
yes.
tuning in? Hi Leo De Leon, Mark, Kenneth Deliverio, and Lucy Stella. They're all tuned
Okay.
in because of
Hello.
you. Yeah.
Hi, Lucy. Hi, Mark. And hi, De Leon Leo. Thank you for tuning in. I hope you guys enjoyed the show.
Thank you guys for tuning in, if even if I'm on my own right now. So going back to what you said, you're so grateful with their support. To be honest, did you expect to have this kind of warm reaction or reception from a lot of fans? Because they are seeing something in you and that they think you could be the next Miss Universe Philippines.
It's actually very uplifting and very heartwarming. I didn't expect many people from outside of Bohol to know me and to actually feel the love and support of people who barely know me is it really raises my spirits, and it gives me more hope and more encouragement to just keep doing my best, keep doing what I'm doing, and work on becoming, it might be cliche, but work on becoming the best version of myself.
I have to be honest with you. Ever since you submitted or you made your intentions known that you would be applying for this year's inaugural pageant, we have been keeping an eye on you. Kasi alam mo, lagi nila sinasabi, oh, siya yung girl na nakatalo kay Gazzini back in 2017. So, when you get that kind of description, para kahit wala ka pang gawin, kakabahan na kami. Ano meron dito sa kanya? 'Di ba? So, how do you feel when you get that kind of reaction?
Well, I wish that I would be. referred to or given a description other than that, because I don't want it to seem like Gazzini's efforts or Gazzini's performance somehow was less, because if you were there during Miss Bohol 2017, you would see that her performance was also on point. And I don't want anything or anyone to think of her performance in a not as bright light if I'm given that description. But then again, well, if people support me and if that's their way of showing support, then well, I'm still open to that and I welcome that with open arms.
Yeah. Siguro any publicity or any word of mouth will tanggapin mo na lang, because it really adds up to your stock as a
Well,
candidate,
I
right?
suppose yes, I suppose that's true. You have a point when it comes to that.
All right. So, you know what? We have always been drawn by your beauty. For the longest time, alam mo, iniisip ko, pure Filipina ka talaga, swear. Even if Amelincx yung apelido mo, talagang sabi ko, yeah, kasi may mga tisay din na, I don't know, for some reason, parang tingin ko sa'yo, parang kasi Kylie, di ba Kylie is also pure Filipina?
Pure
So,
Filipina, yeah.
pero nagulat ako when you mentioned that you are half Belgian pala in your past interviews. So, gusto namin malaman, how much is the Belgian in you and what parts of you are Filipino?
So I'm really just half and half, half Belgian, half Filipina. It's my mom who is the Filipina and my dad is the Belgian. So I'm a natural born Filipina. I was born in Bohol. And when I was 2 years old, my parents decided to migrate back to Belgium, and we've stayed there for 10 years. But every year that we were in Belgium, every summer break, we would come to the Philippines, come to Bohol, and spend our summer here. So I kind of feel like I also grew up in Bohol because I spent all of my summers there. And when I was 12 years old, that was about the time that my dad wanted to retire, and he wanted to spend his retired days here in the Philippines. So the three of us migrated back, and I finished my high school in Iligan City. So from Bohol to Iligan City, because most of my mom's family transferred there because my grandfather had found work at National Steel. So I finished my high school at Iligan City. Then college was in Cebu. Then I started working in Bohol, and now I'm working in Manila, though I'm on leave. And since the pandemic has been going on for 6 months, yung leave ko, parang it's gonna be a sabbatical na lang siguro.
Talaga. So
Yeah.
island girl ka pala, having grown most of your childhood in Bohol. So you must
Yes,
love the beach, anything that is related to water.
Sobra. Sobra, yes. I love being in the water. I love swimming, whether it's in the pool or the beach, although I prefer the beach because in the beach, at least you have the option to snorkel or to free dive, though I don't know how to free dive yet, but I know how to snorkel or I know how to swim. And then there's such an amazing world underwater that you can see, and the colors, the animals that you get to see, it's really just out of this world to me, and it amazes me. So I prefer the beach. Total island girl, yes. I agree.
Yeah.
But there's more to Bohol than just beach. Really?
Oh.
Have you ever been to Bohol before, Adam?
Yes, twice na.
Okay, twice. For how long?
4 days, 3 nights, 3 days, 2 nights.
Okay.
Each.
So when was this?
Like the last one was like 5 years ago.
Okay, you need to go back. You need to go back and experience more of Bohol because it's really more than just beach.
Ang favorite ko doon yung Bohol Bee Farm. Yung organic
food. Oh yeah,
doon.
I like it too. Oh, I love their food. Yeah. I love their ice cream. Shout out to Bohol Bee Farm.
Talaga. Nakalimutan ko na kung natikman ko, but everything about that place is so good na I really want to go back. If ever I want to go back, that's the first must visit that I have to go back to. Kasi sobrang, I don't know, parang I just love the whole ambience.
Yeah, true. I love the ambience there too. If you're going back there, let me know. I mean, hopefully when the coronavirus has like settled down a little bit. But when you're going back there, let me know. I'll meet you in Bee Farm.
Yeah, sige. Yeah, and everyone knows each other practically there kasi parang it's a small island lang, no?
Yeah.
So, yeah. Tapos nagma-motorcycle rides lang ako from one place to another. Yeah. Pero alam mo, I was able that you were able to capture those beautiful sceneries in your Beyond the Coastlines video. So how do you feel that a lot of fans are saying na isa yung mga Beyond the Coastlines videos ni Pauline ang isa sa mga nag-stand out yung Beyond the Coastlines video ni Pauline because it really captured the essence of your personality.
I'm so happy that a lot of people liked the Beyond the Coastlines video. It was really a lot of hard work and effort that went into it, and I have to commend my team in Bohol also. Team Empanada, shout out to you again, because they were able to capture every moment. They were able to capture my personality, and I'm sure that's not easy to do. And even if we were only given like 3 days to finish everything to meet the deadline, they were still able to do an amazing job, and I can't thank them enough for it because they were able to put Bohol in such a beautiful light. And I hope that people are more entitled to visit my province and hopefully have a very good time there.
Yes. Yeah, apart from your Beyond the Coastlines video, marami rin curious din kaming lahat. Paano ka ba nagsimula sa journey mo as an aspiring beauty queen? Nagsasubmit ka
Oh.
ba ng mga madalas ka bang mag-go-see sa Bohol Dance? Sa Tagbilaran, yung capital city? Or
Oh, good question. I started dipping my toes into pageantry during my college years. That was back in Cebu. I was asked by a friend of, no, actually, she wasn't my friend at that moment, but she became my friend afterwards. It was a fourth year medtech student who asked if I wanted to represent our college for Miss Intramurals. That was my first ever dip into the world of pageantry, and I'm just happy that it was in a school setting because it was safe. It was with people that you knew, and it really made the connection between me and my classmates stronger. And from then on, when I was in Cebu, I joined Festival Queen of Cebu. After that, I joined a municipal pageant in Bohol, actually from my municipality, Tubigon. And after that, I joined Miss Bohol. And Miss Bohol was really just a springboard into national pageantry for me. And I don't have any bad memories of Miss Bohol. If I could relive some of my pageant years, definitely Miss Bohol years because they were amazing.
all right. Yeah, a pretty not pretty summary of your
Yes.
journey to becoming an aspiring beauty queen. So, dream mo ba talaga maging beauty queen?
That was a roller coaster ride. Okay, let me get into this. When I was a kid, I think when I was from my 7 to 9 years old, I was very very girly. So at some point, me and my aunts here in the Philippines, we would have like pretend fashion shows or pretend pageants. So I would rampa in my dress and I would pretend to be Miss Belgium or Miss Philippines or Miss
Oh,
Spain even. Yeah, I would give like a different kind of walk or a different kind of tour with my dress. Like if only you could ask my aunt Carol, but unfortunately she passed away last year. But she was the one who I would like present myself to. And after that, I entered my boyish years, and I really had like no interest in pageantry when I entered my boyish years. I would accompany my mom to the pageant in Tubigon because sometimes she'd have a niece or yeah, mostly just a niece who would be joining. So she'd ask me to come with her. I think she wanted me to be interested in that, or at least spark my interest in it. But it was only in college that I started dipping my toes into pageantry and then actually getting to appreciate everything that pageantry can offer to a girl. And all the personal growth that I've gone through is really amazing. And I'm happy that I was able to go through all that. And I thank Veronica Ebo for asking me to be Miss Intramurals back in 2014. Grabe. I think that was the start thing. If it wasn't for her, I don't think I would have been here. So grabe ang connection. Grabe talaga.
so talagang ano no, accidental lang pala yung pagiging beauty queen mo. Akala ko kasi parang,
Actually, yes.
yes. Akala ko kasi parang yung mom mo, parang nag-apply kayo sa mga castings, sinumit yung mga pictures mo nung sa bawat talent manager or pageant manager sa Bohol. Tapos nakitaan ka nila ng potential daw. Oh, by the way, wait, before we proceed again, can we just give a shout out to Sir Mox, to Ashley Mox Gonzalez. Thank you for
Oh,
tuning in.
hello.
Oh, he has a lot of lovely messages for you. He says he was in Bohol last year. We had one of our best dinners in Tomar Tapas and bar near Henna,
No.
Bohol. Near Henna, Bohol is beautiful.
Beautiful. Oh, thank you, Sir
Wow.
Mox. I'm so happy that you have such beautiful comments about my home province. I hope to
Yeah.
see you there soon too with Adam.
Yeah, sige. Sige, let's schedule that. Sige, go. Sir Mox, narinig mo when everything's all good, we can schedule a trip down south. Right?
Okay.
Diba?
Yes.
So we should also give a shout out to Krisha, Natasha,
Krisha. Hi, Krisha.
Celis. Ang ganda mo daw. Super ganda naman ni Ate
Oh,
Pau.
yeah, thank
Maya,
you.
Maya Antiporta also has the same comment.
uh,
I love you, Miss Pau.
Thank you, Maya. I actually know Maya. Yes, she works at the
Oh,
tourism office in Tupigon.
oh,
Yeah,
I
thank you. I'm
see.
so
So
happy
ano,
that they tuned in.
kamusta na ba ang travel Kamusta na ba ang travel industry sa Bohol? Parang hindi pa tayo pwede mag-travel, no? May existing travel ban
Um,
pa rin, no?
Yes, although Bohol is considering opening up their tourism, but I'm not sure if it's for Boholanos only or if they will allow people from outside of Bohol to also travel to the province. I have not read the latest update regarding that, but they are considering following in the footsteps of Boracay, I think, to open up their
Oh,
tourist spots so that at least Bohol's economy will be able to start up again, and so that people can benefit from that too. Which
alright.
is a good thing with the right precautions. I think that's a good thing.
Yeah, it's about time. Kaysa naman sa
Yes.
people will be so idle. At some point,
Mm-mm.
we have to start,
We
claiming
have to,
back our old
yeah,
lives in order
that's
to
true.
survive. Yeah,
We are done being paralyzed by Corona.
yeah, yeah, true. I agree with you 100%. Okay, tara daw talaga ha. Sige, go. Sige. Sige, talaga. Sabi ni Sir Mox, tara talaga. Yes, sige, go. That's
Mayo,
ano.
good.
Sige, Tofi Kababat also says hi to you. RJ Lapore. Hope Pauline will be the next Miss Universe Philippines. Ruhelmina Hassan.
Oh, thank
Hi, Hermosa Reina.
you.
Queen
Thank
Beautiful.
you. Thank you, Relmina.
And then Jay Abay has also says hi to you. Proud Boholano here. I will support you from Tagbilaran City.
Proud
Cathy De
Bahalana here
Melar
too.
Cathy De Melario says you are her Miss Universe.
Thank
God bless
you.
you. And then does so does Vicky Aven
Vicky.
Villaferto feels.
Uh, Thank you
She
so much
loves
for
you so
tuning in,
much.
everyone. Thank
Yeah.
you. I'm
You
so
know, the
happy.
reason why I'm also excited to do this interview is because of the video, your advocacy video that you uploaded, or the governor
Ah,
of Bohol, I don't know,
yes,
Mr. Yap,
Governor Yap. Yes,
yeah, uploaded in his social media account recently. Kasi
yes,
alam mo, to be honest, it's the first time that I've seen you very in your purest or rawest
yeah.
emotional state. Kasi I've always, since the beginning of MUP, like you guys are always prim and proper, and there's hardly a chance for me to interview you. So nung nakita kita, in that video, it was really an eye-opener for me na parang, Pauline has a personality pala. May tinatagong hugot din pala. That's why I excitedly repost about it. So can you share us more about it?
Yes, that particular video, it's part of the Dasig series. So Dasig is actually a Visaya word that means to inspire, and it was an initiative by the Bohol provincial government, and they just asked me if I wanted to somehow partner together with my initiatives from Hope in a Box, which is from the Yellow Boat of Hope Foundation, and together we decided to collaborate, and we went to an island. I mean, this is from the video, based on the video. So we went to an island in Loon. The island's called Kabilao, and we decided to distribute the Hope in a Box slash the Dasig initiative. So we came up with a partnership where the Bohol provincial government would provide backpacks, and then I would provide the Hope in a Box, Hope in boxes to the kids there, because we feel that a lot of the kids have been at home, sometimes doing nothing, also because they haven't had any connection to the internet, so no means of staying
Yes.
connected or being able to learn. And we thought that that initiative would somehow also help them and somehow also inspire them and make them know that we're thinking about them and that they are still valid, that they have value, and that they shouldn't stop their learning journeys just because they're at home. And I hope that
Mhm.
my coloring books, which are part of the Hope in a Box initiative, were somehow able to give them a fun yet educational thing to do. And I hope that that will last for the duration of this pandemic, or for however long they need to be at home. And I'm really working hard on a second coloring book, a second edition, so that they have something more as well to educate themselves about and to have fun with as well.
Wow.
Yeah.
I'm curious to ask, has drawing been your fun hobby ever since as a kid?
Definitely. I think it's
Uh-huh.
because of my dad, and maybe a bit of my grandma as well. My grandma was actually a painter, and she had
Ooh.
this atelier in her house before. So you have to go up the stairs, and that was the only thing upstairs. And then you'd see the canvas, you see this the easel, and then you'd see her. I would see her paint sometimes, and maybe that somehow influenced me. But I think also in school before, they were also very keen on allowing the kids to create little bits of art for their parents on their birthdays or on special occasions. And I think I just built on that. So every year, every birthday of my dad, of my mom, every Christmas, every New Year, I would make or create a card that would say Happy Birthday or Happy New Year, and I would just try and make something that I haven't made before. And it has always been something like a tradition for myself. Even up to just a few years ago, I would still give my parents their birthday cards that I made on my own. I would go to National Bookstore and buy art materials and then create something for them. And I think one of the reasons why I kept doing it is because my parents appreciated it. And they always told me that if it's something that I love to do, then put your heart and soul into it and do it. And that's what I've been doing. And I think earlier this year, I had the epiphany. Finally, I had an epiphany that this gift from God, I could be using as a gift for other people as well. So I decided to not just limit the art that I'm creating to just my parents, but to also the kids who might be benefiting from it as well. Because I, growing up, loved coloring. And I think it stimulated my brain so much as well. And I just hope that I have had the same effect with my coloring books for the kids, hoping that at least their educational journey at home will continue, even in the simplest way possible.
Ooh. My follow-up question would have been, bakit hindi architecture or fine arts yung kinuha mo, or something related to your passion in drawing? Pero yun nga, you said you only discovered it very late. So,
Yeah.
I want to ask, is it the reason why you took up international studies is because of your Belgian heritage?
That has part to do with it because I've always liked history, but I don't mean to be biased, or I don't want to give like a bad light to any part of history. But I loved European history, everything about the Roman gods, for example, or Roman history, especially the Roman history. I loved hearing about it, reading about it, and I thought to myself that if I would take up international studies, major in European studies, that I would just be able to know more about it as well. And somehow it also incorporated the cultures of the world. And I thought that I would be able to learn more about the world in the classroom setting. And when I grow up, when I have my own money, I'll be able to visit those cultures and live and experience those as well. Yeah.
Which you
But
hope, yeah,
Adam, I
oh yeah.
also want to add that was actually my second course.
Ooh.
I That was not my first course. Back when I was in grade school, I think I was 10 years old. That's when I had the dream of becoming a doctor. And that was
Doctor.
a dream I shared. Yes, that was a dream I shared with my mom. And when I was 12, I asked my uncle, who was a doctor, I asked him just one question: at what age were you done studying? And he said 32. So at that point in life, I already thought to myself, okay, no, I already know that I don't want to study until I'm 32. I have all the respect for the future doctors that want to do so, and hands down to you for being able to do that. But I already knew in myself that I wouldn't be able to do that. So I let go of that dream of becoming a doctor, but my mom did not. And as I was graduating high school, my mom was like, "Oh, so what do you want to take up in college?" And I wasn't sure yet. At 16 or at 18, I don't think you have your life figured out yet. So I wasn't sure what I wanted to do. And my mom was giving me his, like, why don't you try medical technology? Who knows, you might be able to become a doctor in the future anyway. And then everybody in the family can come to you, you can heal us. And I think I kind of, rolled on that train with my mom. So I went to Cebu. I took up an entrance exam at Veled's College, and I
Uh-huh.
took up medtech for 3 years.
Oh,
And it was
Oh.
only after my third year that I realized that I couldn't do it anymore. At that point, I already transferred to Cebu Doctors University, and I really had a hard time keeping up with everything, trying to get high grades and trying my best to study, but then not getting the result that I wanted. And that was such a downer in my life. I felt like I wasn't worthy, that I wasn't smart enough, and I was at a very low point. And come sem break, I cried to my mom and I told her I can't do this anymore. I'm not happy anymore. And then thankfully, thank you, Ma, she allowed me to shift to international studies. So thank God Cebu Doctors University also offered that course. And when I found out that they offered that course, I was immediately interested and I knew that that would be the course that I wanted to take.
But international studies ba, what do you usually end up as? Diplomat?
In the Yes, in the best case scenario, you end up as a diplomat, providing that you have passed the foreign service exam, which a lot of people say is harder than the bar exam in the Philippines because it's a three-set or a three-stage exam, which you have the theoretical, you have the practical, and then you also have like the formal dinner. And you
Uh-huh.
need to know at least one foreign language. You need to be fluent in at least one foreign language. So at least I have that going for me,
Yes, yes.
because I know Flemish because of my dad.
All right. No, wow. O, di ba? From being a doctor to hopefully becoming ending up a job in the foreign service, di ba? Who knows what the
Yes,
world could offer
exactly.
you or has in store
Yeah.
for you. By the way, Sir Mox has a question here again.
Oh.
What do you, Pauline, what do you consider your biggest strength that can help you in
Mm-hmm.
your journey, not just for the Miss Universe Philippines crown, but the Miss Universe crown itself? And
Yes.
on the same vein, what are your weaknesses that you think you can hinder
Oh,
can hinder you from reaching your goal, and how are you working on it? Let me
all
flash
right.
that. Sorry. Ang haba. There.
Oh, I think you flashed the wrong one.
Oh, sorry.
It's okay.
I mean, the comments just keep coming in. So there.
It's
Yeah.
okay. There. All
There.
right.
Yeah. So what do you consider your greatest strength that can help
Well,
you in your journey, not
okay.
just for the Miss Universe Philippines crown, but the Miss Universe Philippines crown itself? And on the same
Okay.
vein, what are your weaknesses that you think can hinder you from reaching your goal, and how are you working on it?
Okay. One of my greatest strengths, I think, is my commitment. My commitment to myself to always become better and to always learn something new along the way. But also my commitment to be able to serve with a heart and to continuously want to do something with purpose and with meaning so that I can use the talents that God has given me to be able to try and make a difference out there. And I
Uh-huh.
think that's something that I really want to try and I really want to do. So I think my sense of commitment is a great strength that I find in myself that could be useful for this. And when it comes to my weaknesses, before I used to compare myself to other people as well. And that's something now even that I sometimes struggle with, especially when other people start to like verbally compare me to someone else and then mention that name and then mention all the qualities that that other person might have, which I might not have yet or which I'm still trying to work on myself. So that was something that I struggled with until earlier this year. And I think I'm going to name drop here. It was Katarina Rodriguez's answer during Miss World Philippines that actually also made a switch in my mind because she said that this is not a competition uh, among me
Uh-huh.
and the other girls. This is just a competition between me and myself. And when she said that, parang light bulb moment also for me because she really hit it on point. And I realized, oh no, I shouldn't be looking at it as a competition between me and someone else. It should always be between me and who I was yesterday. And I think that that's a weakness that I'm slowly trying to overcome every day to always just work on myself and know what my weaknesses are, what my strengths are, and to always keep working on that.
Nice. Yeah, no. It's it's really uplifting. It's really inspiring how you can learn so much from involving yourself in beauty pageants. Now there are
Actually,
facets or angles that it could really change your mind
That's
later
true.
on,
Yes,
diba? It could
exactly.
broaden your horizon. It could really make you more mature in terms of your outlook, diba? So
Mm-mm.
yes,
Yeah, it's
yeah.
not just
So
about the growth that you go through yourself, but I also have to be grateful for all the people I was able to meet along the way. So much mentorship has come from the different people that I've met because of pageantry. And I'm just so happy for them, happy for their mentorship, and happy that they were able to give me some things to ponder on and some things to learn from as well.
exactly, exactly. Sabi ni Sir Mox, good answer. You're welcome, Mox.
Thank
Yeah.
you.
There's another question here. Since we talked about your advocacy earlier, this question comes from Sophia Cruz. She says, "Hi, Pauline. I'm curious." Oh, wait, let me flash that. "Hi, Pauline. I'm curious about your advocacy, and I would like to clarify things lang that
Hmm.
if that is okay. Since you said that you wanted to advocate for the conservation of marine life through arts, how exactly can art help? Producing artwork, although very beautiful, will not reduce the amount of plastic, save the animals. So how
Hmm.
can art make a physical and significant difference?" So maybe she's
Okay.
asking for a tangible
Oh,
solution.
sure. Yeah.
Parang ganon.
Yes, thank you, Miss Sophia Cruz, for asking that question and for giving me the opportunity to expand on my advocacy. So, my artwork that I'm creating in my coloring books is something that I'm creating myself, which is what makes this advocacy very personal to me. And my artworks are actually just different marine creatures with a bit of trivia next to them so that the kids get acquainted with those different marine creatures as well, in the hopes that my art and the trivia that's related to it somehow creates a spark in them that will make them want to protect those marine creatures, that would make them appreciate them, and that would make them want to care for the environment that those marine creatures live in, so that they somehow, through my art, learn to value nature and value the marine life around them. And then in my artwork or in my next coloring books, I would be able to put in some tips and things to do or things not to do when you're at the beach, for example, so that my artworks and my coloring books can somehow shape the minds and create maybe a paradigm shift in the minds of our the young kids here in the Philippines, so that they themselves will become better stewards of God's creation, so that they will be the ones to reduce the amount of plastic in the ocean, to save the animals in the ocean as well, and so that they'll be the ones to create that change. And I just hope that my artwork will somehow be the factor that will lead them toward that change.
Yes. See, so it's more of, yeah, doing still continuing your coloring books, pero this time around mag-iiba yung content
Yes.
para para ma-spread mo yung awareness about saving.
Yes.
I mean about saving our environment, 'di ba?
Yes.
So that's
Mm-mm.
hindi ko naisip yun ah. Yeah. So that's one way to look at it. Yeah. Use your talent talaga for the good.
Yes, using my talent to raise awareness on it. Because everything starts with awareness. And once those kids are made aware, even at a very young age, I think as they grow old, that appreciation will just grow. Because if I would just target teenagers, perhaps it might not be, I'm not going to say it's going to be too late, but if we can start earlier, then of course that would be better.
Vince Nanas is saying, "Wow, what a stupendous answer." If you get comments like this, how do you feel? Yeah.
My first reaction is, oh my god, sometimes the word or the adjective that they use is sometimes an adjective I don't know myself, so I kind of have to like search it on my phone afterwards. But when I read it, it's like, oh my god, they actually like my answer. I'm able to convey my thoughts and people appreciate it. So all in all, I'm just grateful for people who comment on that and who think that my answers are relevant to them and are relevant to society.
Kasi when you answer your questions, it doesn't sound scripted. Talaga it's coming from your heart. It's very spontaneous. It's very impromptu. I wonder where is this proficiency in English in the where is this English proficiency coming from? Were you reading a lot of books when you were a kid? Were you exposed to it a lot?
I think maybe movies will be a better answer to this. Though I won't
Mm.
consider myself proficient or as proficient in English as people would think, because uh, I learned English and Flemish at the same time, and I only had like actual English lessons starting high school. So all the way through grade school, it was me just speaking English, but never actually reading it. I just learned how to speak English by speaking to my mom or talking to my mom, and then listening to TV because we had American movies back in Belgium. And I think just by constant communication, you learn better more than just reading. Although I do read a lot too. There are so many books that I like reading and that I would want to suggest to other people if I meet and talk to them. But yeah, it's mainly communication, and this counts for Filipino as well. I was not good at Filipino while I was in high school, though I had Filipino classes or special Filipino classes every Saturday. I didn't learn as much as I wanted to. It was only when I came to Manila and when I surrounded myself by people who spoke Filipino all the time. That's when I started catching up as well and started speaking Filipino on a more conversational level. Although I'm not 100% fluent in Filipino yet, pero at least I'm getting there.
Yeah. I mean, for you pass master when it comes to speaking Tagalog. Di namin halata na nagsa-struggle ka pala sa Filipino language. So
Not
siguro
talaga.
mas ano, siguro hindi lang kita kilala. So ibig mong sabihin uh, mas mas gamay ka magsalita in Bisaya than speaking Tagalog or Filipino.
And
Parang
no, it's
ganon.
the other. I speak more Bisaya than I speak
Alam mo kasi,
Filipino.
ganun ang nakikita ko sa Cebu eh. Alam mo yon, parang lahat ng nakikilala ko mga Cebuanos, they're so good in English. Tapos,
Actually, oo.
oo, tapos mas magaling sila sa English kaysa sa Filipino. Hindi ko alam, I'm not generalizing pero mostly, sabi ko, maganda kayang English curriculum sa Cebu? Kaya, ano, di ba? But anyway,
Yeah,
going,
I noticed that too actually because sometimes before when I would ask my friends to help me with my Filipino assignment, they would also have to think overtime in their brain or search something, and then I would just laugh because I would find it funny, and in a way I would feel like I wasn't alone in my struggle with Filipino. It's everyone else too pala.
yeah. Yeah, pero yeah, whatever that you guys are drinking in Cebu, I wanna have that someday. Yeah.
Alina, oh, you
Yeah,
should come to
sige.
Bohol and go to
Mag-relocate na
Cebu
talaga,
also.
no? Yeah, I've been there. You know what? The last time I've been to Cebu was last January at the height of the eruption of Taal volcano. And I would
Taal,
only stay
yes.
there for overnight because of Miss Cebu. I was invited to cover Miss Cebu.
Ah, okay.
But before
Miss
that, took me 20 years before. Nung nakarating ako, it took me, the last time I visited Cebu before January this year was 20 years ago. So, ganun ako
Oh, wow.
katagal ng ano. So, kahit overnight, nakita ko parang, wow, ang lalapit ng mga beaches sa
Yes.
city mismo.
Oh,
Although may traffic, pero everyone, tas ang daming, it looks so cosmopolitan. Hindi siya talaga province talaga. So,
no.
yeah.
I have to agree. Yeah, I
Yeah.
like Cebu also. When I spent my college years there, I actually had a lot of fun, and I don't think I'm done exploring Cebu. If I've spent 5 years of my life there, but I've only been concentrated in the city because school dorm lang talaga yung life ko when I was when I
Yeah.
was studying. And I think based on the stories from my friends from Cebu, or even friends who are not from Cebu but who were able to go around, I really want to see more of Cebu too. Yeah, it's a very beautiful province. So
Yeah.
many opportunities there as well.
Okay. Okay, last question before we go to your MUP journey. Sophia Cruz has a reply to your earlier answer about
Mm-hmm.
conservation of marine life. She says prevention is better
It's
than
very,
cure. Hopefully you could also collaborate with experts
uh-huh.
too when
Yes.
conceptualizing the next book. Thanks for raising my question and thank you for answering, Pauline. Yeah. So
Thank you,
yeah, no.
Sophia. I hope that experts are listening, and I hope that I can approach some experts too in the future. I would love to be able to make my coloring book a bit more um, heavy when it comes to content, so that at least we'll be able to reach as many birds or like hit as many birds as we can with the same stone.
All right. So let's now go to your Miss Universe Philippines journey. So
Okay.
I'm curious to